I'm so excited today to be able to greet the speaker. I met Eugene Holt 2 years ago, almost about the same time. First time I met him, I was working in the kitchen. He came, he tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around. He said, "Thank you for being you," and walked away. And I was so hit by that. Not by what I was doing, not by what I was helping with others, but he was thankful for me being me. The second time he came, he talked about love and how that we being defined as divine of God is love. And it hit me so profound. So I went and I started researching this guy.
Uh-oh.
I found out that he does the affirmations every month in our Science of Mind magazine. And if any of you guys who don't know the Science of Mind magazine, I encourage you to look into it. It's both daily devotions for every day, articles about what's going on around us, and how we can live our belief in the world. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you have a rough day, and I'll come home, I'll pull out that magazine, and I'll read that affirmation, and I'll be like, why didn't I live it that way? It was so simple, it was so there, but why didn't I live it that way? And so even though I've only met him a few times, I feel in my heart I know him. I know his soul. I believe that every time I see him, even right now, he has a smile on his face. He has joy in his heart, and he has love. And to me, he's a pillar, a light that on my darkest days, I can come home, read that affirmation, and know that I'm not alone. There's spirit around us, and it's still living, and it's strong. So I welcome Eugene Holden.
No, man. Hey, come here. Thank you. Woo-wee. Sheesh. It is so good. Pressure. Wow. Good morning. It's so good to be back here in Prescott. I remember the first time visiting Prescott, I was calling it Prescott. And oh my God, I was corrected in 2 times. That's all it took. I am so grateful for the Reverend Kathleen Sibley to trust her pulpit to me. How's everyone doing? Good. See, because I come from a culture where it's good to talk back to me. I like that, right? How many are here that were at the workshop yesterday? Oh, yeah, we had a great time, didn't we? So we're going to continue to have a great time. For those of you who weren't there yesterday, and I have 23 minutes, so let me get this done. I kept looking at the clock yesterday, and the Rev took the clock off the wall. Because I want to, integrity is an interesting, wonderful thing. So, the awesomeness of God, you're it. The awesomeness of God, you're it. Or other words, to cut that short, tag, you're it. So remember when we were kids? Well, I still am a kid. But remember playing with your friends that game of tag? Does anyone know how the game would start? Someone would say, tag, you're it. And it would just start, right? And the object of the game is not to be it. So we would run around, we would dodge, we would have beautiful ways of not being tagged. Anybody play tag before? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And we would find ways of not being tagged. Oh, and then there was freeze tag. You get tagged, and you can't move until somebody comes and unfreezes you, right? And then we start to grow up. And then we start to grow up and we start adulting, right? Yeah, I know. Then we learn how not to play the game tag. Because then we start going to school, and then we start having, we have kids, we get married, not necessarily in that order. Sometimes we get married and then have kids, sometimes not. But we start adulting, and we forget about playing the game. We forget about the fact that life is a game. But that one game, tag, oh my God. We still remember how to dodge, because now what's calling you to be it is spirit, right? And what happens is we're still playing that game of tag. We don't want to be it. And we find clever ways of not being tagged by spirit. It shows up in so many different ways. See, we never stop to think that we're still playing, right? Oh, God, we learn to run away from spirit. We learn how to dodge spirit. Whoa, come back. My 1980s headgear here. It's good stuff. Forget the tail. There we go. We learn how to dodge. We learn how to do all of this stuff and we make up excuses of not being tagged, not being it. Well, I have to help my kids with the homework. I don't have time. Spirit goes, how about sitting in the stillness just for a moment? No, I don't have time. I have to get to work. No, I don't have time. I have to get home. No, I have to go shopping. I have to do my hair. I have to, find something. And so Spirit is trying to touch us, to tag us, knocking on the door of our heart, going, you are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. You're the one. Tag. You're it. The awesomeness of God. You're it. But then what happens, right? See, this is what I know. Because this is Prescott, CSL, that none of you guys play that game of tag with spirit, right? Nah, not at all. But me and some of your friends, oh my goodness. That was pretty good, Eugene. We make excuses, but we don't call them excuses. As I said, we come up with these things of like, we just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do this. Ernest Holmes says, you belong to the universe in which you live. You are the one with the creative genius back of the vast array of ceaseless motion, this original life. Hazel, thank you so much. I loved how you spoke about you are the one. You are the divine. You are the presence. You are the beloved of God. And again, let me just reread that. As Ernest Holmes says, you belong to the universe in which you live. You are the one. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are the one. One of the things I like to say in my prayer work is that God so loved the world. God so loved the world that it turned upon itself, clothed itself, and then named itself you. And a hush comes over the crowd. But breathe that in. You are the one. You are the one. You are the one with the creative genius of the universe. See, what I understand is that you, me, we are all here for more than just making it through the day. I had the beautiful opportunity of working in a job just recently because I just didn't do what I needed to do at the end of last year, so I found myself having to go out and get a part-time job. And I thought that I would do this for 6 months. It lasted for 2 months because I was done. Because Spirit was saying, dude, get up and do what you're supposed to be. That's how Spirit talks to me. Dude, tag, you're it. What are you doing? And so I was working as a cashier at a grocery store, which was so very cool. up until it wasn't. But what wasn't cool, though, what wasn't cool is I recognized that I wasn't stepping into being it. And I was working at this market. Oh, God, that was so much fun. Because I'm always singing, right? I'm always singing. And customers would come through the line, and I'm just singing away, just, and they're like, how do you always stay in so much joy? Because I choose to. There was a woman who was in one line and then came to get in my line. She said, I wanted to get in your line because you greet everybody so authentically. And you're always singing. Now, on the flip side of this, right? Some of the people who work there, I would ask, hey, because this is just how I am. Hey, how are you today? Well, I'm here. I'm like, oh, wow. And how long have you been working here? Oh, I'm going on 22 years. I'm like, oh, my God. And you're miserable? See, but what that taught me, what that reminded me, because we're not here to learn anything, we're here to be reminded. We're here to remember who we are. Tag, you're it. We're here to remember that we are the divine expression, the divine emanation, the brilliant illumination of the divine. How cool is that when we recognize that? Speaking of 5 steps of prayer, thank you for that song, One Love. But what that reminded me of was, oh, okay, I need to get off of my butt and get to work. Now, that butt has a different connotation, right? It's like, so I really want to learn how to play the piano, but I really want to thank you for your song. You did a great job. Great job. Now, unlike Kathleen, Reverend Kathleen, there might be some of us in here who go, I would really love to get up on stage and sing, but. So there was a woman at the market that I worked at. It was close to the CSL Center that I was the music director at for a number of years, and I was very involved there. So I would see some of the members come through. And this woman was in line, and I'm bagging groceries, which I didn't like at all. Didn't like the bag. I don't mind doing beep, beep, except for my body was like, dude, we're done with this. So this woman's in line, and she's looking. She's like, I'm like, yeah, it's me. And she goes, Eugene, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. I'm like, oh, my God, thank you. Because I had forgotten that I was it. John, how are you? Squirrel. No, John. But she reminded me, right? She reminded me. And sometimes in our lives, we need reminders. We need reminders of how great we are. Do you understand? Do you know? Do you really know how great you are? No, really. That's not a rhetorical question. Do you really? Hello, is this working, Jackson? Do you really know how great you are? Yeah, there was a no over here. See, but that's being honest. But here's the thing about that no, is in order for that person to say no, there's a glimpse of a yes. Because you can't know the no without, oh yeah, but there's something more. Right? Yeah. But when we know that we know that we know, then we get to move and we live and we have this joy because we are the awesomeness of God. Tag, you're it. So we have to stop dodging. We have to stop dodging spirit when spirit starts knocking on the door. And spirit shows up in so many ways as you. Maybe you want to paint. Okay, that's spirit expressing itself through you, as you. Maybe you want to write music. Maybe you want to learn how to play the guitar. Maybe you just want to smile at people and touch them. Because this is how spirit shows up as you. Again, God so loved the world that it turned upon itself, clothed itself, and then named itself you. So you get to say, you know what? I am it. But here's the thing, right? In this beautiful society, that we're taught to turn our lights down. going back to being a kid, playing tag, maybe playing tag at school, and you had a great day at school. Great day with your friends and everything. You learned something new, and you go home and you share that with so much enthusiasm and so much excitement, and then parental units sometimes will go, yeah, okay, great. But it's turning the light down. Sometimes we are told, hey, you're getting too big for your britches. Which I understand. I had to look that word up just to make sure I knew how to use that. And it's a derivative of breeches. I like breeches better. And then I had to, cite. You get into the web, right? You can go down this rabbit hole. So breeches, the definition, they're those short pants, right? Well, the pictures were not short pants. It was interesting. I'm like, what the hell was that? Really? Whew. So why is it that we do not show up? Why is it that we may not allow ourselves to be tagged, or the awesomeness of God, or spirit, or divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it? What keeps us from doing that? I'll answer. It's fear. Fear, and it really comes down to fear of one thing. Now, it shows up in many different ways, but it's only one thing that we're afraid of or can be afraid of. Up until today, from this point on, we won't be afraid of being judged. I'm afraid that people are going to talk about me. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose some of my friends or gain enemies. I'm afraid that I might mess up. I'm afraid, but it's all about being judged. Yesterday I was talking about, I got my PhD from MSU. Making stuff up piled high and deep. Because I make stuff up, and here's the thing, so it's like, oh, they're talking about me. Oh, see, in fact, I know somebody in the audience is talking about me right now. Dag nabbit is like, who does he think he is? But see, that's me judging me, right? Because none of you would do that, because you're in Prescott, CSL. Here's the thing, right? No matter what the fear is, none of that matters. See, we are mental beings living in a mental universe. And we want to start to change how we think about ourselves. It's not so much of what others think about us. It's about what we think about us. Wow, really? Thank you. Don't do. So what you want to start to do, what I'm inviting you to do, is to really start thinking about who you are to you. I love, we talked about this yesterday, this phrase, unconditional love. Unconditional love. I love you unconditionally if you, wait a minute, now we just turned to condition, right? But to love someone unconditionally means I love you no matter what. No matter what you say, no matter what you don't say, no matter what you do or don't do. I love you unconditionally. Let's take it a step further. I love me unconditionally. So ask yourself that question. Do I love myself unconditionally? And if there's a no in there, beautiful. If there's a yes in there, beautiful. But that's the question. And if the answer is no, then why not? See, this is the thing that I realized. Is that you are the most important person in your life. You are the most important person in your life. Well, Eugene, but that's selfish. Yes, it is. Because if you don't do it for yourself, who will? And I say selfish with a capital S. Because if I don't love me, I can't do what I do. And the reason why what I do is because it's this love. Love. It's the love of spirit that's flowing through me. Right? because I realize that I am the awesomeness of God. How cool is that when we really catch that? When you really catch that you are the love of God made manifest, or you are the Word of God made flesh, or you are the omnipresence of the divine. Now, sometimes, for some of you, maybe 2 or 3 of you in here, that might be hard to take. But it's the truth. It is the truth. This is what I like about, we didn't do this one last time. This is what I like about being masters. Because all of you are masters. We are all masters. And masters don't make excuses. Sorry to tell you. Yep. No more excuses. No more excuses of showing up big, bad, and bold. No more excuses. Who cares what people say? They're going to talk about you anyway. Or not. See, it's in my head that people are talking about me. You know what? I know where you're going. You're going right about here. God, that hurt. Now, you think you're it, buddy? How about this? What's that? Yeah, right? Cool. Good. Tag, you're it, the awesomeness of God. You are the divine intelligence. Again, I keep going. This is my 3rd time saying this, right? That God so loved the world that it turned up and expresses itself as you. Own that. Own that. Own that you are divine. Own that you are brilliant. Own that you are magnificent, no matter what seems to be going on. See, you are here on purpose for a purpose. Whatever that purpose might be to create something huge. That purpose may be as small, and it's not small, may be as small as giving a smile to the next person that you see on the street. Because you never know how that smile may change their lives. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. See, you are much more than what you were told. You are more than what you tell yourself. See, because it's all about self. We were speaking in the workshop, the class yesterday, about being selfish with that capital S. Being selfish. Because you are the most important person in your life. Yeah. You are pure spirit. I love how words come out. You are pure spirit, connected to spirit because you come from pure spirit. You are more than this physical body. I love this exercise. I'm going to have everyone do it. We did it yesterday. You are more than this physical body. So, on the count of 3, I want you to say, I am peace. However, don't speak it. All right? On the count of 3, say, I am peace. But don't use your mouth. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cool. So, here are the questions. What was it that said it because you said it? The other thing is this. Because when you said it and there was no vibration of sound that came out of the body, what was that hurt it? Because you heard it, right? Yeah. So what was that's hearing it? Which puts a totally different perspective on sound vibration. This is an ancient exercise from mystery schools from way back, where the masters would ask their students these questions. But here's the other thing. Let's talk about vision. Your physical eye cannot see your past or your future. It's your inner eye. So what is that sees your dreams? What is that sees your vision? See, we are so much more than this physical body. We are so much more than what is appearing. Tag, you're it. in seeing your vision, you get to create what it is that you want to experience. That's why I love who we are. We are so brilliantly created. We are so divinely supported in everything that we do. So when you close your eyes and you see that vision, because that vision is tapping on your heart, it's always been there since you were a kid. That's why you're here. So as you continue to tap into that vision, surrender to it. Surrender to it. Because once you say yes, and you've said yes before you got here, not here at the center, but here on this spiritual plane called earth, because that's why you're here. You're here to live a purpose. And once you said yes, once you really dedicate yourself and surrender to that yes, please believe me that you are divinely supported. I am a witness to that support. Oh my God, I can tell you stories about how much I dodged spirit trying not to get tagged until I found myself up against the wall and I couldn't dodge spirit anymore. So the tag was like this. Say, boy, will you come on? We have work to do. You can't dodge that. So I'm going to end on this. For the fourth time. Plan redundancy, right? That God, Spirit, divine intelligence, unconditional love, so loved the world that it turned upon itself, clothed itself, then named itself you. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Let's pray. How good it